Good morning, everybody. This is our fourth class. We have already discussed about the English language testing system in our earlier three classes. In the third class, I think we had discussed about the verbs. There are three types of verbs, and it's like a time machine. It has got three forms: present tense, past tense, and future tense. All that was discussed. Please be guided by that particular class. And today we are here to talk about adverb. It is one of the parts of the speech, adverb, and adverb, as per the books, as per the grammar, they say that it adds to the meaning of the verb. But at times it confuses students also. What is that adds to the meaning of the verb? So let us discuss and try to make it very simple, or make it so simple so that we can comprehend and try to know what is adverb. So, for example, we say he might not finish the work in time. He does the work very slowly. That slowly, he is doing some work and he is doing that work slowly. So here action is did, does, all this, do, did, done, all these are verbs. So how he is doing the work? Slowly. Slowly means in a manner, not in a fast manner, slowly. So adverb elucidates, tells us, denotes us, shows us how the noun is acting, doing certain action, and in which manner those actions are being done by the noun. That is what's shown by an adverb. And after adverb, we now have the preposition. So, prepositions. The prepositions are very important in our language. Whenever we use prepositions, we must use a preposition according to the condition we want to express. It's very important. Once we use a wrong preposition, the whole sentence, your vocabulary is good, your grammar is beautiful, you can speak very beautifully, but once the preposition is placed there while structuring your speech or language or writing, the whole meaning changes. Let us discuss furthermore. I'll give you a small example. Like the scientists are busy, finding a vaccine for coronavirus. Presently, we say there is no medicine for cancer. If I ask somebody, for coronavirus or for cancer, for that matter, there is no medicine for cancer also, we can say. But generally speaking, you will come across people saying there is no medicine for cancer. Now, for is a preposition. For is a preposition. Actually, what is the condition when you should use for? The usage of for as a preposition in a sentence is for a purpose, when you have to elucidate or show a purpose, and also price. For example, I bought this pen for 30 rupees. For 30 rupees. The preposition is very correct. And you can also say, Mummy, I want 10,000 rupees for my journey to Chennai, to Delhi, whatever it is. That is the purpose. We cannot use that everywhere. Only the conditions that are needed, in that condition only we use a preposition. So anyhow, if you want to know which would be the best one is, there is no medicine against cancer. There is no medicine against coronavirus. We cannot use for. Against is also a preposition. So we will be discussing at length in prepositions. There are, according to some shortcut methods to know more and to be very perfect, to have more grip on the prepositions. We can say time prepositions, non-time prepositions. time prepositions and non-time prepositions, just to make ourselves understand, though it might not be appearing in a grammar, time preposition and non-time preposition, but AELTS says these are time prepositions and these are non-time prepositions. For example, on, on. The condition is touch and support. Either it touches and it also gets a support. There you use on. For example, the book is on the table. That means it is touching the table and the table is supporting it. So when these two conditions apply, or these two conditions are there in your brain to express, you say the book is on the table, or the TV is on the TV stand, like that. So this is on. Again, when you want to indicate something about time, on Monday I will come on Monday. So with days also you use on. So there is a beautiful class for prepositions, and the class is abridged also. It is not lengthy. It is very interesting also for us, and easy way to learn. I mean, easy, friendly. It is very friendly made. It is, so you would never have a problem. And maybe I will be telling you more about the prepositions, and if possible, you can also jot it down, write it. Time prepositions and non-time prepositions. I will be slowly telling you. So students, you must always get prepared during my class. Certain things you can write, and we in AELTS never try that you should write and read and all. You listen and keep it in your brain. We plan ourselves to make such a program that once you listen, it helps you to 80%, 90% of the language structure. But however, in certain cases you will have to write. Now I will be giving you a list of verbs, those 220 verbs which are generally used by us, and those verbs which are not forming their past tense and future tense by suffixing ed. I already discussed this in the earlier class, like walk, walked, ed. But again, speak is spoke, spoken, break, broke, broken, sting, stung, stung, ring, rung, rung, W-R-A-N-G. That ring means rinse clothes and then take out the water out of the clothes. That is also ring, W-R-A-N-G. So all this will be discussed in the next class. So for today, this is what you can store in your memory, and try for identifying more prepositions also. So tomorrow or in my next class, whenever it is possible for me, I shall elucidate you the total stretch of the prepositions. Now to make you prepared, these are around 35 to 40 time prepositions, 35 to 40 non-time prepositions. And with these prepositions, if you continue structuring, framing, making sentences, talking and discussing, in our curriculum also, in the next class I will be letting you know the total curriculum, the total syllabus that we follow in AELTS during our 3 months course. So in that, whatever you would feel like that I should listen to this particular subject or this particular grammar point, you can also have your own choice in it. Okay, goodbye then.